Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to the St. Louis podcast. I'm your glorious host today, Eric Brown, president of Vi Media, partner at Mogul Holdings, where we grow home service companies. Today, you got myself. It's going to be a short episode. We're going to run into some clips from past episodes that we find entertaining. But I did want to talk about a few things before I pass you guys over to some just hilarious, interesting, just share-worthy, clips that we're going to get to. As always, this is the St. Louis podcast. Each and every Friday at 7 a.m. Central Standard Time, we drop an episode on all major podcasting, audio, and video platforms where we meet with the most badass people and creators, talk about business, entrepreneurship, and current events. So, interesting news this week in St. Louis. Wanted to highlight a few of those things. I don't know. Did you guys see this Christopher Dunn thing that got exonerated? He got exonerated from a 1991 murder conviction, released from prison on Tuesday. So Christopher Dunn, sentenced in 1991 to life in prison for murder. He maintained he didn't commit as a free man after prosecutors dismissed charges on Tuesday, a move that was largely procedural following weeks of wrangling between the courts and the Missouri Attorney General. Dunn, who spent the last 34 years in prison, for a 1990 St. Louis murder, was met in cheers as he stepped out on the steps of the Carnahan courthouse just before Tuesday. I don't know, this might have been last week. So 34 years ago, they took that away from him. So this is a crazy story. 34 years in prison for something he did not commit. And I think this is, murder convictions are overturned. Not all the time, but I would say infrequently, but it's not it does happen. And I would say that that's probably the best reason to not have the death penalty is for stuff like this. Because killing an innocent person is a tough pill to swallow. And how are you going to draw that line between those two things? It's like, yeah, this person was definitely committed. He committed 10 things of whatever, and this guy committed for one. So it's an interesting story. But what I will say is, how the hell does the government, how does the prosecutor, how is this made right for someone that was in jail for 34 years? I'd love to just get some comments on this to see. The only thing I can say is money. Absolutely. But who's going to pay that money, right? The city is going to pay that money. How much money, is fair? Are you going to pay him 50, minimum wage over the last 34 years? I mean, even that I'm assuming would be a decent chunk of change. So it's just a crazy story. I'd love to see where this goes. I'm super happy that this happened. There is a lot of good judicial non-for-profits that really help with a lot of these people that, say they're innocent. And, these non-for-profit organizations work with these people to, of course, be a benefactor essentially on them and to be able to help them get out of this situation. So just thought this was a crazy story. Obviously they dropped those charges and pretty much the judge was like, sorry, we'll see ya. Insane story. I don't know if you guys also saw this on the other fact of, the judicial system here in St. Louis. The CJC had 2.5 hours of guards to get inmates under control a couple days ago. There is always these stories about the City Justice Center downtown having issues. Yeah, a couple years ago, weren't they busting out the windows and they were like hanging outside? So, there's it really astounds me that we have this issue. Considering the fact that we know that a lot of people in St. Louis that are doing heinous crimes, first of all, are not going to jail. So who the hell's in jail right now? I'd love to know who's in the CJC, because people that are doing terrible shit are just are getting left out with no bail. So I'd love to know how this is so underfunded, what's going on with the CJC, and actually this would be a good guest to have on the podcast. If there's anyone that would be willing to come talk about this, I'd be very interested to talk about really the whole judicial system in St. Louis City and St. Louis County. Because it seems like really from a standpoint of especially different states, I don't want to get political here, but we got, cities like New York, LA, San Francisco, things like that that are having issues. Um, I'd like to talk to someone that, maybe could talk on that here in St. Louis because I foresee it just becoming a bigger problem, uh, as time goes on, as it's showing to be proven in those other cities as well. So 40 inmates escaped their cells Sunday morning. And what's interesting is apparently last year they spent a couple million to update their lock system, which apparently is still having issues. Um, so we're spending money on obviously the CJC. I would love to know what issues are going on there. We got a chairman of detention facilities oversight board, Daryl Gray. Daryl, you want to come talk? It'd be interesting to talk to someone about this. So the other thing I wanted to talk about is I was on the St. Louis subreddit. If you guys are listening here in St. Louis, it's an interesting subreddit, just reddit.com/r/St. Louis, ST Louis. And I saw a large post the other day talking about Coldwater Creek again. Coldwater Creek is coming back up in the news. This person was talking about on the subreddit that they grew up right around Coldwater Creek. This is the second time that they have gotten cancer, and it is the second time that it has been a cancer that is not a normal cancer. So Coldwater Creek is still causing issues. So if you guys aren't familiar with Coldwater Creek, I'll give you a little insight. So let's just go down here. So St. Louis was pivotal to the Manhattan Project, resulting in decades-long contamination problem. Uranium was refined in downtown St. Louis during the war, contaminating surrounding properties. After the war, waste from downtown site was trucked to St. Louis County, sometimes spilling along the way and dumped at the airport. Decaying barrels released radioactive waste into Coldwater Creek, and despite acknowledging the risk of contamination, the private company that produced the waste thought it was too dangerous for workers to put the material in new barrels. Eventually, that waste was sold to another private company and moved to a property on Laddie Avenue, also adjacent to Coldwater Creek. The material was stored in the open, where it could continue to contaminate the creek. The Cotter Corp, which purchased the waste to extract valuable metals, dried and shipped most of it to its facility in Colorado before dumping the rest in West Lake landfill, where it remains today. The Army Corps' authority through FUSRAP over the downtown Coldwater Creek Airport and Laddie Avenue sites, but cleanup of the landfill is being overseen by the Environmental Protection Agency. There was a HBO documentary released a couple years ago. I think it was titled The Manhattan Project. Maybe it wasn't. Whatever it was, look it up. It's about this specific thing. And what it really goes to show is that the EPA as an organization, I think, and I don't even think this is a hot take, is fucking bad at what they do. I think the EPA is completely, just like many of our governmental agencies, are bought and paid for by the powers that be. And I don't think, they want to spend the money, and they don't care about the people around Coldwater Creek, which are tens, if not potentially hundreds of thousands of people affected. And obviously, since, this started in the 40s, potentially millions of people, right? The EPA has said that, it's cost, I think, where was that number at? $406 million is financial liability of these sites, as of essentially last year, which is incredible. Federal officials reportedly wrote off potential risks as slight, minimal, or low level. And, something needs to be done about this. I see that Corey Bush was talking about this a couple of years ago. I don't know what's being done now to really hold these people accountable. I'm sure a lot's being done. Right. I'm sure a lot's being done still up in the area that is affected in terms of there's a lot of, townships getting together, boards and things like that, trying to hold the EPA accountable. And, I haven't watched the documentary in a couple of years, but I believe the EPA blew off a few of those meetings and didn't even show up. I could be wrong on that. I'm not an expert, but I believe that was the case. So it just goes to show, I don't even want to look up how much the EPA gets on a yearly basis. EPA budget yearly, 10 billion. So, I mean, something needs to be done. And this is only obviously one site here affecting us locally in St. Louis. I don't know how many sites there are across the United States, not only from contamination of, this, for example, and uranium and things like that getting in, but just from a standpoint of organizations, large corporate entities, and people not being held accountable. Stuff is being dumped into rivers and water all of the time, and we are not holding these billion-dollar or, $100 million plus corporations accountable for the damage they're doing to the environment. And I'm not even talking about from a standpoint of global warming and all of that stuff. Sure. I'm just talking about from a standpoint of literally them dumping stuff into our water. I mean, look at microplastics. We've talked about that on the podcast as well. Um, I would say that our food, our water, and everything is becoming less and less healthy, even though we're having technology and, things that should be allowing us to be healthier with what we're getting in our body versus not. I think there needs to be a lot done looking at water, looking at food, looking at the amount of money, the amount of taxes, and I'm sure everyone here can say the same damn thing. The amount of money that goes back to the government is it's an insane amount of money, and the amount of money that just at the end of the day seems like it doesn't go back to actually help you, me, us, the people in our neighborhood. The people that we actually care about, our friends, neighbors, people we actually know, not some idiot on the internet. That should be the most important thing. And it seems like that's just not the case. And that's the reason I love doing this podcast as well is, I think it's entertaining. I like talking to people and I like, trying to hopefully figure out some solutions for St. Louis. Um, and in the meantime, talking about the good things that are going on in St. Louis as well. We have a lot of good things going on in St. Louis. I don't want to highlight the bad things, right? But we need to talk about the bad things just like we talk about the good things. And to be frank, we've had issues getting people on the podcast from St. Louis. So if you guys could help me out with this, that are in charge of really making policy in doing things that are going to hold government agencies accountable for what they do. If it's budget, right? I just saw that I think Cory Bush or someone is going after the public school system here in St. Louis to make sure they're accountable with the dollars, that are going to these schools, right? What's being bought. That's great, right? That's being done on a local level, okay? All of this money is going to the national government. And at the end of the day, no one is holding them accountable with the money that goes out. Um, it's infuriating, right? And now all we see is I've taken a break from social media over the past weeks. Ever since Trump got shot, Kamala got, inducted, or excuse me, she's now running for, president. Um, it's become too much. Everyone just shares their thoughts on like political landscape, shares a meme every 5 minutes, and thinks everyone wants to hear their take as I'm sitting here talking about it, which is so dumb. And I understand the irony here, but it's like, it's too much. There's a lot of other stuff going on in this country. There's a lot of other stuff going on in your guys' lives. There's a lot of other stuff going on in business and in helping other people and what's happening locally. And all we seem to care about is Trump and Kamala. Frankly, it's goddamn annoying. Um, so hopefully, we can move past that. Hopefully we can get some people on this podcast that we can shed some light onto some of the issues here in St. Louis that really, frankly, I don't think is being addressed. I mean, we've talked about the St. Louis City Police really not being held accountable from crashing into, the gay bar a couple months ago. I mean, shit, they're totaling cars left and right. So someone needs to be holding these people accountable. At the end of the day, I think what everyone, and especially what our government agencies forget, is that they work for us. I put that in quotation marks because that sounds a little stupid, but right, they work for us. They're advocate. They should be our advocates on behalf of us. And if that's not the case, then we need to change. And I think that should be pretty easy to do. It should be pretty easy to see. And I don't know why more politicians don't have a podcast like this. They sit down and be honest and transparent, just like when you're using a marketing company. Most marketing companies are not honest, transparent, and accountable. I think that would go a long way for a politician for anyone in governmental office, for people that are in charge of our money, right? Either locally or nationally, to really be upfront and frank with what's been going on. But I would say, and I'm just throwing a number out there, 90 to 95% of people in politics, government would not want to get on a podcast like this because I would want to ask questions that are going to hold those people accountable. I'm not going to do a puff piece that it's not entertaining to me, right? And that's not what we do here. You're not going to pay the St. Louis brand and St. Louis podcast to come on here, and talk about some BS, right? We'd get into the weeds and we talk about, what should be talked about. And I think what a lot of listeners here in St. Louis would want to listen to as well.
Hey there, St. Louis podcast listeners. We've got some exciting news from our friends over at Farmers Insurance of St. Louis, led by the man, the myth, the legend, Mark Lee of Farmers Insurance.
Mm-hmm.
If you're looking for a job or to own your own business under a brand that everyone and their cousin is familiar with, Mark Lee with Farmers Insurance of St. Louis is recruiting insurance agency owners here in St. Louis for their Farmers Insurance Mentorship Program.
And as many of you are aware, Garrett and I have owned quite a few successful and award-winning businesses over the years. And in a past life, one of those was a farmer's insurance agency out of Chesterfield, Missouri.
Eric and I know firsthand how hard it is to start a business under a brand that no one has heard of and convince consumers and businesses to trust that you're an authority figure in your industry.
And as many of you know, we own an award-winning marketing firm, Vi Media, the one that Garrett was just discussing. And building that company's reputation literally took years. We're still building it to this day, and it's been 8 years in the making. However, with the Trusted Farmers Insurance Agency name on the building, we got started when we started our Farmers Insurance Agency. The trust was already built and has been for 96 years.
And if you can't do math, that means Farmers Insurance has been around since 1928. Luckily, you don't need to be a human calculator to get rich as an owner of your very own Farmers Insurance Agency.
Nope. All you have to do is reach out to the one and only Mark Lee, the leader of Farmers Insurance in the greater St. Louis metropolitan area.
That's right. So ensure he continues to sponsor our show and your favorite podcast, the St. Louis Podcast, by quitting your job today and calling Mark Lee. I wouldn't even wait for him to answer your call. Call your boss now, quit, and become your very own business owner.
Mm-hmm. Visit insurancecareerstl.com. That is insurancecareerstl.com. Should we spell it out?
Yes. It would
INSURANCE, career, CAREER, STL.com, insurancecareerstl.com. Go there now. Back to the podcast.
And wait, insurancecareerstl.com.
Back to the podcast. Last thing, before we get into all of these great clips we got for you guys this week, we are on is this episode 76, 77? We're pretty far in here. We're not going to stop anytime soon. So the one thing I will say, sponsorships, if you want to sponsor the podcast, reach out to us. We are building the St. Louis brand right now. I'm sure that you guys just saw that we changed over everything from the St. Louis podcast to St. Louis brand. You'll be hearing more about that in the next couple of months. We're excited about what is going to happen there. Thinking about, having some rotating co-hosts, really building, a landscape and an entertaining and a podcasting landscape, and more than just podcasting, helping business owners here in St. Louis as well, and really driving, being able to use our platform in order to do so. And that's the whole reason we started this thing in the first place, right? Obviously I own a marketing company. I get business owners on. My goal is not to pitch them marketing. I don't care about that. The only goal on here is to be entertain you guys, and hopefully have a damn good time doing so. So sponsorships, please like, review, subscribe as always. Show us some support. Yeah. So here we go with the clips. Have fun.
Quick little anecdote. I have a memory of someone posted 7 years ago, maybe I'd done 3 or 4 posts on Instagram, and someone made the comment, you can't just put STL in a circle and think people will buy it. And I was like, no, yes, you can. That's what people will probably want, So that has been our tried and true. I love it. It's really wearable, and I feel like it does have the ability also to expand. There's no reason why NYC can't be in it one day.
Yep.
And my nervousness comes from growth is that I don't want St. Louis to ever feel like this isn't home base, you know? But my view is the larger I can make Arch Apparel, the more people I can hire. This will always be home. I have 2 kids here, and our stores are here and stuff like that. But I want to grow this brand so that it started in St. Louis.
You know who
Build-A-Bear is, you know?
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, you know who figured that out in a really good way was Panera.
Mm-hmm.
They call it St. Louis bread here. That way everyone remembers this is home base and St. Louis doesn't feel left out. And then everywhere else it's Panera.
Yep.
And that was I didn't even realize why they did that until you just said that.
Yeah, you don't want to, that's bread and butter for a while, you know? Like that's our core. And I actually don't think the name Arch Apparel wouldn't be able to use in other cities. I don't think anyone in Connecticut knows what Arch Apparel would
I don't
mean.
think they wouldn't connect it to the St. Louis Arch.
No,
not at all.
St. Louis is small enough to where you could say, show me Arch, pretty much anything St. Louis related, no one's going to know.
No, yeah. And so that's the plan. And I hope people always understand that as we try to grow and take on, there'll be bigger licensing opportunities and stuff like that pop up. And like the Nally one worked out because he's local, it made sense. But
that's in the stores right now, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I saw that there.
Yeah, we've had the Nally collab for a while. It's cool.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we're going to do a refresh on it this spring and give it some more life. So yeah, it's been a good one.
Did you get to meet him?
Not yet.
Not yet?
Interesting. Yeah, not yet.
I know you said, Eric kind of went over it, but what was your mission with starting your business? Like internally and externally with customers?
Yeah. You know, I think that in the very, 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 I remember this night. It was right before we did one of our other first events that we did. We were sitting up. It was like 1 a.m. at my house, and we were like, we need to come up with like a chant or a mantra or something. Yeah. And who knows if this was the late night or the how many hours we had been working on, but we came up with this mantra, and we still use it today, but
it's developed a little bit started more. I think that's where everything started.
Yeah,
where the make cool shit, take no shit comes from.
Yeah.
Did you want to do it? Is that what you're like?
Well, I mean, I feel like
now?
you can't like talk about it and not do it, right?
Yeah.
Fine. All right. Yeah. Okay. You have to do this. The Golden Gems.
The Golden Gems.
The former craft makers of America.
The former craft makers of America.
Do solemnly swear.
Do solemnly swear.
To.
Take no shit. No. Make cool shit.
Make cool
Make
shit.
cool shit.
And take no shit.
Hustle like a mother.
Hustle like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
Take no shit.
Take no shit.
Kill it like no other.
Kill it like no other.
Who run the world?
Who run the
Around
world?
the world?
Girls.
Everyone.
We weren't prepared for that.
We haven't ever done it repeating.
Yeah, no one's ever done it with us, so I like that. The first time.
I'll credit Eric. I just jumped in because of the bandwagon effect.
We work on the cadence.
You couldn't be the only one not.
Yeah, I was like, fuck, I guess we're doing this.
Yeah.
Bad decisions in COVID.
Oh,
Jesus.
yeah, no.
That was COVID brand.
One thing during COVID we spent like, I think we spent $30K on starting a sales team, and then COVID happened. And
No,
it destroyed
COVID happened,
everything.
then we started a sales team, and then we were like,
oh, yeah, we were
due to COVID, we're giving out these free digital audits.
Yeah, something we'd been doing for years
Oh,
before.
man. Oh, jeez. That crashed and fucking burned.
That was terrible.
Dude, I killed it during COVID.
Well, we did great.
too. It's
But
just
the sales team,
oh my
we burned
God.
some money.
Oh, my
But no, we
God.
lost our biggest client, our smallest client, and then after that, we absolutely slayed it because with the way we framed it was like the best thing to do right now is digital, which was true. Everyone was on their phones watching streaming services.
Yeah, anyone that's yeah.
No, we pivoted a lot of people from traditional advertising to digital advertising during that. So
That's dude, I'm just passionate. If it's not about content, I probably won't do it because that's my zone of genius. Like, I'm a creative consultant. I'm a creative director, and I know how to build. I'm built to build, and I know how to build teams inside of companies now because I always claim, like, I'm not an operator, and I'm not. I'm a builder. I start shit for 3 to 5 months, and I'm some Rob Dyrdek shit. Go operate this shit. Go run this shit.
He's
I'll
got a
create the content.
podcast. You ever watch it?
Fuck yeah, all the time.
Okay.
Dumb podcast junkie.
I didn't realize. I actually just saw a clip of his like a couple weeks ago. I didn't know he had a podcast, but
Dude, he's a
I saw him
beast.
recently on another podcast. Is all within the past couple weeks. I'm like, I never knew that I always pictured him as like the fantasy
I already
factory guy. You know what I mean?
No, dude,
and then I
he
listened to
is
his.
that
I was
dude.
like, holy shit, this guy's. he is super smart. I forget what he was talking about.
He's talking about like
something
data
profit and data. Yeah, something profit and
with
data.
time.
Yeah.
Like he like literally maps his whole life out, and he's
Yeah.
and I'm like, yo, I'm rocking with Rob Dyrdek.
Yeah.
I almost attacked him for real. Like I got that instinct. I was like, but I'm at the point now. I think I know everyone that I need to know, and I think a lot of it. It's like when I used to back in the day drink alcohol. I used to have this thing where like I would try to hook up with every single female as a game, and I was just a complete douchebag. Like I'm so lucky I had my wife. For real.
How successful were you though?
Then?
Mm-hmm.
Hell no, I wasn't. I mean, I was on
No,
tour.
no. I mean, how successful were you with the ladies?
Oh, I was very.
Yeah.
But I don't brag on that, wifey. I don't at all. But it was the same thing with business a little bit. I got that addictive personality,
Mhm.
you know. So it's like
Same.
I love attacking. I call it, boy, don't get yak attacked. If you come into this vibe and energy of you're getting yak attacked, I'm making you a song, I'm making you a commercial, I'm gonna give them to you, and you're gonna have to say bye, or you're gonna buy.
Yeah.
Flat out, bro. Tim Grover, I did it to him. It took 5 years to get any money out of him, but I told Tim, like, yo, you ain't got to give me no bread. Ever. Like, I'm grinding with you, and they pay me, but we're doing some big shit for him this summer, like some documentary style type shit.
Nice.
Sick.
Fuck yeah.
If a manager is in our environment and they're not doing a good job,
100%.
it is obvious.
Yes.
Day one, there is no hiding. So people don't like that.
Yes. Well, yeah. I mean, well, that's the thing. I think going, we talked about Elon Musk a couple months ago, and I maybe upset a few people by saying that a lot of these people at these tech companies just probably were not doing that much work. And it was pretty obvious, took him to start firing people, and then everyone followed suit pretty much immediately after he started doing so. And I might have sounded a little bit offensive by saying, good that those people got fired. It's not good that those people lost their jobs. It's good that hopefully they'll actually try and figure out something to do without essentially being leech on a company. And there's a lot of those.
I agree.
And thank God we don't have to worry about that yet. I'm sure with your size, it's a lot harder. You can still, but you got thousands of people, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people in a company. It's very easy to be a couple of those handful, those 10, 20 people that just get away with not doing much.
You know what we did? It's interesting that you say that. I didn't ever want to end up there.
Mm-hmm.
And because we are at such low price points and there's so much work that we need to do for one monthly retainer, that's why people hire us, right? Because we just cost less than them trying to internalize it.
Yep.
So every one of our people is on Salesforce, and we built an org chart, like an actual org chart, and on top of Salesforce. And then we brought all the key metrics, daily, weekly, monthly, up into what we call an A-player score that's in real time.
Mm-hmm.
So starting like with me and across the entire organization, we all have a score, and then our people roll up to us, and it's daily.
Every single person, the whole
Every single person
organization.
in the entire organization.
Interesting.
We
Okay.
took everything that they need to get done on a daily basis, put it into, key metrics, rolled it up into an A-player score, and then weighted them based on things that were maybe more important, like a salesperson getting revenue might be important. Maybe a held pitch is next. Maybe, a
Sure.
appointment set or something.
Yeah. KPIs. Yeah.
But every single person in the like art, copy, interviews in human resources, or exit interviews, or accounting, collections, whatever it may be.
Sure.
And then that will grow with us. But it allows me to just look at this org chart, see my score, go down to people that report to me, go down from there and see a manager or a department or an area that's underperforming for the day and key into it, and not get to the end of the month or the end of a quarter and then try to solve the problem. You can
Sure.
solve it in real time.
So we've talked quite a bit about gamification. It's something we've tried to implement at Vi. We're still working on it. You guys have it down pat, it sounds like, which is awesome. How do you see that affecting the bottom line of a company? Because most companies that I know of do not have any sort of gamification set up whatsoever.
Well, I think it's everything. Like if if you haven't done that, if you're not looking at with your growth exactly when each position comes in, and you don't have that modeled out.
Yep.
You know, you don't have a certain number of clients over someone's head or a certain amount of revenue over somebody's head. If you don't have that predictable go forward, then you are literally wondering who to hire, when to hire. You're over hiring.
Yep.
You know, you may think that you know what kind of production you want out of a person, or maybe they're allowed to do different levels of production. It just doesn't work. Not in what we do.
Sure.
It just doesn't work. So we try to model it out. And if we're going to create a new position, we have what's called an A-player structure. And everything has to be done before we actually hire that person, because we've made that mistake before, right? Where we hire someone and then say, okay, what do they do again?
Yeah.
Or how do they get paid? But they have to have a job description. They have to have a pay plan. They have to have, like, it has to have vision for the position, like when's the next one added, what their A-player score is, training guidelines. Like, we try to go model out the entire position before adding one. And we did not always do that. And we hired, like, hey, maybe we could hire someone to call, you know, all of our lost clients.
Yep.
That'd be cool. No one's doing that. We started to hear, you know, speaking of people, we started to hear from our clients, hey, love you, but I don't have the manpower to handle the growth. Or when we were prospecting for new business, it's like, yeah, I'd love to grow the B2B side of my mechanical contracting business, but I can't find a tech, right? Well, we were already doing recruiting at such a high level. We were recruiting 25, 30 new people a month with growth and turnover, right? And we just decided to build a process to do it for clients. We've been doing that for about 6 months. And we've got a unique approach to it, a little bit of a deposit up front, a way smaller piece of the first year, just because we have the infrastructure in place. And it's been going really well. So if there's anybody out there that is having trouble filling staff, finding, you know, A players, we call it Abstract Talent Solutions. Reach out. And then we love helping people build predictable sales pipelines. Like, our whole mission is impact as many lives as possible through predictable sales pipelines, which is goofy, but totally possible if you're saving a business or keeping a business where it's at or growing it. And maybe they're paying people more, adding benefits, completely changing their business because of that next new client. So if you're having difficulty with getting new sales meetings, let us know. We'd like to help. Website's abstractmg.com, abstract with a K. You can hit me up on LinkedIn, Scott Scully. And then, as you mentioned earlier, the Grow Show is just all about principles that we're using to grow our business. And we talk about the shit we fuck up too. Right? And that's called...
Arguably as important.
Right, it is. We have fun poking fun at ourselves, but that's the Grow Show, business growth stories from the front lines. And it's just, we're having fun, and we'd love to have you take a listen to that.
For sure. Everyone, check out Abstract Marketing's website. Check out the Grow Show. When do you guys release that?
Thursdays.
Yep. Okay, so
Check theirs out on Thursdays. Listen to ours on Friday. That'll be just perfect. I want to see Jake Paul, Mike Tyson.
Have you seen Mike Tyson
What about
recently?
what
He's not
about
moving
Jake?
around like he
What
used
about
to.
Jake and Logan Paul versus Mike Tyson?
There we go. Tag team.
Or how about, this might be a little controversial. What
Mhm.
about Mike Tyson, Andrew Tate versus the Paul brothers?
I think the Paul brothers are going to lose that fight.
If Tyson was for real, though, that dude still can hit hard.
Yeah, dude.
Really hard. I
Yeah.
mean, he probably couldn't take hits.
Yeah,
That's
is
the
he
problem.
on mushrooms
Yeah.
or not during the fight?
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
Uh,
I remember
That changes the.
I remember the Logan Paul podcast where talking about the Paul podcast where Mike Tyson went on, did a bunch of shrooms. It was
Yeah, he just took a handful.
it was
right
super.
there.
It was an interesting podcast though. Don't go listen to it though.
yeah, no.
Don't
Listen.
go.
Don't listen to him.
TV shows, there's so many different like vibes that
Yeah,
come
we
from
going-
different shows.
We going
So, like,
drama.
I think Suits was one of my favorites, and Succession were
Succession.
probably two of my favorites. Succession, I feel, is like probably one of the best dramas out, and I think they
It's
also
good.
like
It's good.
they did a good job not dragging it on forever.
Does it have like an anti-hero in it? haven't seen
I would say they're almost
Everyone's
I would
an
say-
anti-hero.
I would say they're almost all anti-heroes.
But
yeah.
again,
Succession's
without- yeah.
good because every single person in it sucks, and you want them all to die.
Pretty
Yeah.
much, yeah.
But like
You're
without
like,
the
I do not give a
Sopranos,
fuck who takes this company. Just
Who do you hate the most?
please.
Shiv? Kendall? The dad?
I'm only on
He's
season
dead
2.
now.
I don't
Oh,
know.
whoops.
You did not just do that, Eric.
oh man.
my God.
To be
Oh,
fair, that
sorry.
is on you. That did happen like
That- yeah,
6 months ago.
I was about to say, yeah.
You
You're
should
6
have
months
watched
late.
faster.
I was just
But
saying, I'm
still.
only on season 2. He's dead.
He's
I
dead.
watched The Sopranos, and then I watched a YouTube thing of the most influential deaths in Sopranos, and I watched it too soon,
Mhm.
and it ruined like all the big deaths in the end. And I was like, I knew something was coming.
Why'd you-
But yeah, but The Sopranos, when he killed the guy with the fishing wire, when
Yeah.
they went up to the college to visit the
Sopranos
college,
is so good.
nobody had killed somebody in that way on television ever. It was so influential of all the anti-heroes that came and sprouted, Dexter, Breaking Bad, all these big anti-heroes that
Dexter was
are-
really good too.
Don't you
Yeah.
think the best shows also have some of like the best intros?
Yeah.
Like
Mhm.
that show had an amazing intro.
I always wanted to
The
do one of those
Sopranos.
intros in St. Louis, like an
Dude,
intro, like
oh my god. You
we did that for an
a show
assignment in college.
a show we missed is
I already did Pimp My Ride.
Yeah, Pimp My Ride was dude, I watched
Serious,
every
Pimp My
episode
Ride.
of, I watched every episode of that in Cribs for sure.
Yep.
Every single one. Absolutely every single one. I forgot what I was going to say.
Sorry.
You said the
show that you
intro.
missed.
Yeah.
Oh. What's the show that everyone was bringing that it brought everyone to Netflix like back in the day?
Stranger Things?
No, like we're talking like 8 years ago.
Survivor?
He got canceled. He got canceled. He tries to be the president.
Oh, House of Cards.
House of Cards.
Dude, I just finished that.
That
That
show
was a
is-
really good
that
show,
show's
too.
The ending was
amazing.
terrible, but
Yes.
for obvious reasons in real
The
life.
last
I think that's what holds back so many TV shows is bad endings. Like that's
Well,
part of
House
why I
of
think
Cards, it's
Succession is
because
so
he
good.
got canceled for doing weird shit.
in
Well, yeah.
real life.
Yeah, in real life, yeah.
Yeah.
They should have just not had the last season. They should have just. No offense to Robin, right?
I think I stopped
Robin?
right before.
Which is the girl, is Jenny from Forrest Gump. The main character in House of Cards
yeah. She was a piece of shit in
Yeah.
Forrest Gump too.
Yeah, she's the
she
villain.
was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another trigger moment. Yeah,
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Poor Forrest. Poor
Yeah,
guy.
poor Forrest. Come on, dude.
So a part of brand strategy is having funny, engaging content, and I have seen Bobby Lee,
Yeah. Oh, God.
Joe Rogan.
Yes.
Like everybody does smelling salts.
Yep.
I have never personally done smelling salts, so I was going to challenge Eric to smell.
We're all
and
doing it.
Also, Chris. Chris got to get in here with
Chris-
us.
I don't know how this became a branding thing.
No,
but
it's
hey,
St. Louis podcast.
Dude,
Are
it's
we
for-
gonna have St. Louis?
This
podcast
is you
branded
said it's a
smelling
St.
salts?
Louis?
this is from St. Louis. It's called Skull Smash.
it's a St. Louis product.
We'll
Okay.
link in bio
Okay.
if you guys
I'm
want to
in.
pick up some. So basically, you got to twist it and then sniff it and then twist it back because you
Really?
don't want it to all get out because
All
it'll
right.
last.
Who's going
longer.
first? How close do you get
You
your
are
face?
the owner of this show, so
How close do you get?
like real close and that's it, and then twist it back. So. Oh yeah.
Oh,
Oh shit! He took a strong hit.
All right.
holy shit!
What does it smell like?
My nose is on fire. First of all.
Why would you not take just a little hit of it? No, not just like. Like what?
All right, here we go, people.
Woo!
There we go.
I'm dying.
First time.
It fucking
Holy
smacked
shit.
you. Holy
It's almost
shit.
like I went underwater and did a nose sniff.
I can't breathe. I can't breathe.
It's like spices
I
for
can't.
your nose.
It's like you literally went underwater and took a big nose inhale.
Holy
All right, here we
shit.
go, Katie.
Oh my god. Matt, come here.
Oh,
Come
man.
here, Matt.
Come on, Matt.
Come on.
Matt.
Oh my god.
Oh man.
Worst thing I've ever
Why did we do that?
All right, here, Matt. Here you go, Matt.
Oh,
You gotta get in the picture.
Get
though.
away from.
I'm right here. I'm in
All
the
right, here we
picture,
go.
unfortunately.
All right, you ready? Big sniff.
He's over fucking crying, dude. Holy shit.
Oh my god.
Ooh, baby.
Let me see that.
Oh, man.
This is Skull Smash ammonia inhalants. Skull Smash. Skull-smash.com.
That's not good, guys.
314-537-1415. Holy shit. Wow.
Oh, man.
I think what accidentally happened is when I pushed the thing down, I had some.
Dude, when you did that, I could smell it over here, and I was fuck.
Like my left side of my face is on fire. My left eye and my left nostril.
That was.
I need one of those
you-
water jets that go through your nose.
Can you hear color yet, dude?
Holy shit. What do you need? Dude, literally you do that and you deadlift, you're going to do 100 pounds more than average.
Way more.
Ah! Oh my God.
I would drop the weights on my fucking face. Are you kidding me?
Oh,
Man, that was good stuff.
Holy
It
shit.
felt like you went underwater
So whose
and got water in
idea
your nose.
was that?
this is Preston's.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Thank you, Preston.
I don't know. AI, people freak out about it, but like, I'm not freaked out about it yet because AI, like ChatGPT and stuff, is just as good as your communication skills are.
Yeah.
You have to be able to tell it what you want
Yep.
and be precise and like communicate exactly what you're looking for or looking to achieve in order for it to give you a good result.
Yeah.
If you just say like, hey, make me a coffee recipe, it's just going to give you like the most general,
Yep.
bland piece of crap. But if you're like, I have lactose intolerance and I need something that's going to be fall flavored, that's going to be light on calories, and something that will give me just enough caffeine kick, it'll end up giving you something else like this, which I'm not going to say. No free press.
What, Starbucks?
All right. Well, I guess, yes. It's an apple crisp oat milk thing.
What do we got here?
Yeah. I mean, oat milk is the best.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Like, it makes coffee fluffier. The flavor passes
Creamy,
through.
yeah.
Yes.
That's what we have at the office.
Yeah.
See, I always get anytime I go to Starbucks, I'm getting shaken espresso,
Yep.
vanilla foam up top.
That's how you do it.
That's it. I don't know why they make it. Here's my thing with Starbucks though.
Okay.
They're so fucking hit and miss. Like,
I feel that way about Dunkin'.
They're not.
You go to Dunkin'?
I-
For coffee?
A lot of my friends do, and I'm like, it's disgusting. I would
Wow,
rather
just
pay
make shit
more
at your
for
house.
Starbucks.
Just make stuff at your house.
Listen, if you go to Dunkin',
Yeah.
I just have to be real with you. Please don't.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
Donuts, great.
Donuts
Fantastic.
are solid.
Like, go there, pick up a whole dozen, pick up 2 dozen. They're amazing. But if you drink coffee from there,
If you're only going for coffee,
you need help.
that's a fucking crime.
That is a crime.
And you should be thrown in jail.
Yeah.
That's
Because
terrorism level.
it's just like dirt water.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Wait, what's better though, Dunkin' or Panera coffee?
Oh.
Dunkin'.
Yep.
I guess Dunkin'.
Panera's awful.
It's so bad. I had a free drink from there one time, and I got it, and I was like, glad it's free.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because I literally threw
It's
it away.
like, you should actually pay me to
Yeah.
drink this.
Even when I worked
Yeah.
there 10 years ago,
Mhm.
I would get free coffee and I'd be like, no.
It's not good.
No.
Ugh.
Their
Starbucks
tea,
actually
though.
used to be good back then too.
Teas are still good.
Have you had the charged lemonades?
I haven't had a charged
You
lemonade?
ever heard of those?
Dude,
Those
they have like
you?
200 milligrams of caffeine.
Yeah, they're
Who
like
is that for?
They're insane.
Lemonade?
I have
Yeah.
no idea.
There's like 4 different flavors.
Why?
I don't
I
know.
don't know.
What if we
They're
just
pretty
get a
good, though.
coffee?
Yeah, I've heard they're good.
They're
They
good,
are?
but it's sugar and yeah, I mean it's like a soda.
Lemonade.
It's like a soda with
Just get a Red Bull.
yeah.
Just get a Red Bull at that point.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
That's okay. All right. That's intense.
It is. And
That's
it's
a lot.
I think there's one with like 300 mils. I'm like,
300 milligrams?
I just
They came out
imagine
with like a
people
new one.
I imagine people sitting in there for like 3 hours. They probably drink like one or like, they probably drink 2 or 3. And then they're probably just freaking out.
Yeah, they're probably like
their hands are like literally shaking. Like they can't do
they're seeing sounds and everything. They're like, whoa. Yeah.
Fuji apple cranberry,
Okay.
that sounds
strawberry
fire.
lemon mint,
That's fire.
or mango citrus.
Ooh.
The flavors are good. I had them.
Okay, mango citrus.
But
actually
fuck
does
Panera.
sound- yeah,
It
I
still doesn't
agree.
make up.
It's still Panera, like at the end of the day, but
All
these-
right. Does it say how much caffeine's in them? That's what I want to know.
too much. Too
Mm.
much.
260 milligrams.
260 mils on what size
Why?
cup?
Why?
Is that just a regular size?
Yep.
What is their regular?
20 ounce.
20 ounces. 200. What did it say? 200?
260.
260. A normal cup of coffee from Panera would be like half that.
Yeah.
A cup of coffee is like 120, I think.
They do look
Around there.
delicious.
Around there, yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah.
But like 260 is whenever you start getting to like, okay, you're gonna like be awake for the next 24 hours.
Bang Energy. Let's look up Bang Energy.
They're still around. I thought they went out of business.
No, I don't think. Maybe.
I haven't seen one of those in a long time.
Really? All right. What's the I don't drink energy drinks.
Alani.
Ghost. Is that?
Oh, Ghost. Yeah.
All right. Let's look up what the content is. And
200.
So 200. So it has 60 more than a fucking Ghost. And that's insane to me.
Why? Why are you outclassing an energy drink with
What
a
was
lemonade?
our coffee at work? It was like 600 per cup. Yeah, we didn't know.
So this is
we
a
were
funny
drinking it for
story.
Okay,
years.
so walk me
Funny
through.
story. I'll tell you exactly how this
through
happened. So 6 years ago, when we moved into our office, we were looking for a coffee. I'd sort of been drinking coffee through college and things like that, but I'd always just been like, here's a cup, put a little bit of milk in there and call it a day.
Yeah.
But then I started researching coffee and I was like, what's like a good strong coffee? And what was it called? Like Death?
I think I've heard of this.
Not Liquid Death. I don't remember what it was called.
It was like Death something coffee.
We had been buying this for 5 years.
And it looked cool. It was like a cool brand.
5 years we've been buying it for. And, a lot of people didn't drink it. A lot of people felt weird after drinking it. Like,
that's understandable.
Dietz, our COO, has said for years he's always felt weird after drinking it. That's it.
Death Wish?
I think. No,
it wasn't this.
Are you logged into our Amazon account? Go back and look.
Was it Valhalla?
That's it.
Valhalla Java?
Valhalla, yeah.
Yep, that's what, yeah.
Valhalla Java. So look up, what's the content in that?
I'm so scared.
It was
literally like
scary.
650 per like cup.
Isn't that like twice your like recommended dosage for a day?
Yeah.
It's 3 ghosts.
That's like a whole gaggle of ghosts.
600 milligrams per 12 ounces.
600 milligrams.
I asked this before.
For 12 ounces.
No one knew at our
12
company.
ounces?
Dude, no one knew at our company for 5
And
years.
we were making like multiple cups a day.
We were feeding clients and prospects this coffee.
Yeah.
They're probably just freaking out in their chair.
After you drank it though, and you felt like crap, how'd you not put 2 and 2 together? I'm just so
we
confused.
all were like, oh my God, I have a headache, like crashing.
I didn't drink it that often.
Yeah, because like you're
Well,
actively
they
gaining
did.
superpowers.
Yeah, every day.
Like 600 multiple.
600.
Well, because our coffee machine has like the 3 different sizes, and we would always make the biggest cup, which is definitely more than 12 ounces.
Okay, I feel like at that
that's
point,
12.
It
That's
is?
12, yeah. Yeah. The average coffee cup size.
I feel like you could probably naturally time travel at that point once you have like 1,200 milligrams of caffeine pumping through your veins.
It tasted delicious.
Or you go to
though.
the hospital and you start freaking out.
Yeah, maybe that's where you travel to. I don't know, but that's
That happened to someone in our company. They like didn't sleep and then they came in and they had
like 4 espresso shots, like 2 ghosts.
why. Whoa!
because they're not smart.
4 espressos and 2 ghosts.
Yeah.
And that night he was like, I'm at the ER.
You don't mess with
too
the
much
gaggle
caffeine.
of ghosts. Come on now, like
The
this
doctor
applies
was like,
to many
he's
different.
dehydrated. And we're like, yeah, I wonder why.
Yeah, the doctor's like, you're on 3,000 milligrams of caffeine and you're dehydrated. You have no water. It's like, yeah, that's why you feel awful
That's
right now.
crazy.
Yeah.
Do you guys think Helen Keller's real?
What kind of question is that? Yes.
Like, wait, Helen Keller.
The blind and deaf one?
Yes. Why would
Isn't
she
she a
not
real
be?
person?
Yeah, I've seen a play about it.
I don't.
What do you mean you don't think Helen Keller
There
is real?
is no way.
Wait, how are we on Helen Keller?
Because I was just thinking
I know. I
about
thought
it.
you were saying Bloody Mary at first, like saying Bloody Mary 3 times in the mirror. I was
Helen-
like, wait, I did that once when I was little. Nothing.
Because I'm
happened.
passionate about Helen Keller.
About it being
Why?
false.
So there's
Yeah.
a TikTok conspiracy that goes around that she's a fraud.
Wait, when was she supposed to have been alive?
60s?
There is just no way.
Do you think she was fake?
Talking about the blind and deaf. Yeah, 1880. my guy.
1880 to 1968. She lived, what is that, 88 years?
Yes.
That's insane.
There is just no way that she was blind and deaf and was a writer and a pilot of an airplane,
Wait, she was a pilot?
public speaker.
I don't think she was a pilot.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she
Are you
was.
thinking of
I'm pretty sure she flew a plane.
Armstrong?
No.
Who would allow a blind person to fly a plane?
In 1946,
Maybe they just let her hold
Helen
the-
Keller piloted a plane over the Mediterranean.
Yep.
So she just had to go like straight.
Ain't doing it. I
How did she take off? How did she
So
land?
she's a fraud. So she could definitely
Okay,
see.
here's the thing. No, she was blind and deaf.
How are you
But I
flying?
guess how do you prove you're blind?
My thing is,
Well, in the
no,
I don't
no.
know,
How do you
in
teach her?
1920s. I mean, I don't know.
How do you teach her anything?
That's what I think about. I think about that too with
God, what?
blind and deaf. It's like, how do you describe how to like blue when like, well, a blueberry is blue. It's like, well, you've never seen a blueberry.
But they can't hear you.
This is when we need like a
Oh.
speech therapist or something on the pod.
That's my
I
thing.
need to call my mom right now.
Not
and
even a
ask her.
speech therapist. She's deaf too. You can't be like, okay, this is what this says. She can't hear you.
Okay, I see what you're saying because someone would be like, well, this is like teaching them how to write an O.
Or even like she knew Braille.
Like she couldn't like what came first.
How do you tell her what that says? Feel
True.
feel this. She can't hear you say that.
True.
Maybe
like
she was
how-
a real person, but no shot did
Maybe
she
she
do all of
lost
that
her
shit.
hearing at some point.
I think she was like
You're
two.
making
at
some
some
good
point.
points here, and I kind of like it. I don't
No,
know.
apparently she lost it when she was like 2.
Lost what?
Her hearing. And I think she was born blind.
So you're saying she can hear but can't see?
Maybe she had a hearing aid. Like she was.
She is deaf and blind.
I know, but what you're saying she's not.
She couldn't have at that time though.
But you're saying she's not. So what was she? She could see and hear. You're saying?
She is deaf and blind.
I know.
She lost her hearing at the age of like 2.
But you're saying she's definitely not deaf and blind.
Correct. Maybe she was a real person, but no shot.
So what was she then? Just deaf?
Or it's just a story.
Just Helen Keller. Just a normal girl.
So you're saying she wasn't deaf or blind?
How did she public speak? She can't speak. Have you heard her talk?
No.
Exactly. You don't want to. She doesn't speak words. Because how does she know how things are supposed to sound? She can't.
It's true. I don't know.
Matt, are you looking this up right now?
I told you I'm passionate
He's
about
like,
it.
wow,
There's no way.
Okay, listeners,
Did
if
she
you
have
have
kids? Did she have a family?
I don't know.
I want to hear from the listeners if they got any Helen Keller articles and interesting facts. She believed her life started at 7 years old.
I don't think so. I don't think she was ever married either. Mm-mm.
Author and speaker all over the world.
How?
I don't know.
Like, it doesn't make any sense.
She's dead now. We can't ask her. Unless we have a medium. Let's get a medium.
She's not real. There's just no way. Have you guys ever heard of, it's like an ESPN channel, the Ocho?
Yeah.
Yes.
Is it ESPN 8 or something like
Yeah.
that?
Yeah. Well, my family always like just flips through, and like one time they had an air guitar.
Oh, they have all kinds of
competition.
weird
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
There's like death diving, where they like
oh, yeah, I've seen those. I've seen
like
that.
the
Yeah.
people on
they
there.
just kinda
I'm
go
just
in like
like,
that?
what? How do you get into this?
They have competitive tag. Have you
Yes.
seen that?
That's intense.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
I
they're
actually-
doing like parkour over
Yeah,
the
right,
everything.
yeah.
I actually, the competitive tag's actually pretty cool how they're moving
Oh, yeah.
around the space.
Yeah.
Now, but I also saw one where they it was try to keep the balloon in the air, and they had like
I haven't seen that.
they had like a fake living room set up, and they had like helmets on, and they were just like diving for the balloon
There was
and
also
hitting
Oh
it
my
back and forth, and I'm like,
gosh.
there was also
I need
another
the Ocho, man.
another sport. I don't remember what it was called, but it was like it was like soccer, but it was in a circle, and it was 3 goals and 3 teams.
Oh, I've seen that.
I don't remember what it was called.
I've seen that. I don't know the name of it, but the ball skills that these
I'm like,
guys
I
have
don't-
are insane.
3
Yeah.
teams.
it's 3 teams.
There's
and
3 goals, and it's really small. I don't know the rules or how it's played.
It seems like you can just shoot it at whatever goal you want.
but they were,
Omega ball.
yes,
man, the athletes were really good at moving the
Mhm.
ball around.
yeah, it was pretty good. And then
Interesting.
my favorite one to watch is the spike ball tournaments.
I don't know if they can know about spike.
Which one's
ball.
spike ball?
Oh my gosh, the one with the little tiny net on the ground and a little ball,
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
and you like just smack it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like volleyball.
Yes. I
That
know
one's
one.
we play that at like parties and stuff, and it's a lot of fun.
Sweet.
Are they gonna? Do they have professional frisbee yet? Like, what's the? You ever play the frisbee game where you have to get it in the
Frisbee
can
golf?
jam? Can jam? You ever
Yeah,
play
it's so fun. I love playing that.
professional can jam?
They probably
That
do
wouldn't
already have
surprise
it.
me, yeah.
Yeah, they might
Because
already
they do
leagues.
have like frisbee golf, like
Right.
professional frisbee golf. Like that.
Yeah.
Yep, Clayton plays it. Frisbee golf.
Of course he does.
I know.
Yeah.
It's actually
this weekend he was like, yeah, I was coaching go-karting, and Chris was like, you're just an interesting guy.
Frisbee golf is interesting. All right. I hope you loved all of those clips. That is all the time we have for today. However, we will be back next week with a new episode, new guest, and more of myself, Garrett Atkins, or other co-hosts that may stop by. If you're watching live or later, again, please like, review, subscribe, leave a comment, share it. Shout out to the sponsors. Half Coast Studios takes care of us, located in Creve Coeur. If you guys are looking to record a podcast, if you guys are just looking for someone to edit, or if you just need help with distribution, Half Coast Studios can help you with that. If you're looking to join an insurance agency, if you're looking to start your own insurance agency, reach out to Mark Lee at Farmers Insurance. And then, of course, the best damn marketing agency on the planet, Vie Media. Reach out to us, SEO, Google Ads, web design, social media. We will give you an honest assessment of your marketing and tell you, if potentially we'd be a good fit or if what you're doing now is working well for you. That's all. See y'all next week.
Hey there, St. Louis podcast listeners. We've got some exciting news from our friends over at Farmers Insurance of St. Louis, led by the man, the myth, the legend, Mark Lee of Farmers Insurance.
Mm-hmm.
If you're looking for a job or to own your own business under a brand that everyone and their cousin is familiar with, Mark Lee with Farmers Insurance of St. Louis is recruiting insurance agency owners here in St. Louis for their Farmers Insurance Mentorship Program.
And as many of you are aware, Garrett and I have owned quite a few successful and award-winning businesses over the years. And in a past life, one of those was a Farmers Insurance agency out of Chesterfield, Missouri.
Eric and I know firsthand how hard it is to start a business under a brand that no one has heard of and convince consumers and businesses to trust that you're an authority figure in your industry.
And as many of you know, we own an award-winning marketing firm, Vie Media, the one that Garrett was just discussing. And building that company's reputation literally took years. We're still building it to this day, and it's been 8 years in the making. However, with the Trusted Farmers Insurance Agency name on the building, we got started when we started our Farmers Insurance Agency. The trust was already built and has been for 96 years.
And if you can't do math, that means Farmers Insurance has been around since 1928. Luckily, you don't need to be a human calculator to get rich as an owner of your very own Farmers Insurance Agency.
Nope. All you have to do is reach out to the one and only Mark Lee, the leader of Farmers Insurance in the greater St. Louis metropolitan area.
That's right. So ensure he continues to sponsor our show and your favorite podcast, the St. Louis podcast, by quitting your job today and calling Mark Lee. I wouldn't even wait for him to answer your call. Call your boss now, quit, and become your very own business owner.
Mm-hmm. Visit insurancecareerstl.com. That is insurancecareerstl.com. Should we spell it out?
Yes. It would
INSURANCE. Career, CAREER, STL.com, insurancecareerstl.com. Go there now. Back to the podcast.
And wait, insurancecareerstl.com.
Back to the podcast.